The concept of altering history is a common trope throughout fiction. Dragon Ball Z has done it, Marvel and DC do it as often as they change underwear, so why not see what happens if we apply it to WWE? To be clear, all these scenarios have to be somewhat plausible, so no impossible dream matchups like Andre the Giant vs Big Show. Here are 10 what-if moments in WWE history. What if The Rock never makes it into Hollywood? Aside from Dwayne Johnson, every wrestler who has tried to make it as a movie star has failed badly. But what if Johnson was the rule and not the exception? With Scorpion King and Walking Tall bombing at the box office, The Rock calls it quits and heads back to WWE. He returns at the 2005 Royal Rumble and wins it to challenge World Heavyweight Champion Triple H at WrestleMania 21. Rock anchors Raw for years while John Cena anchors SmackDown. The Icons meet at WrestleMania 25 with Cena beating Rocky in their clash, making Cena the true face of the WWE. What if the curtain call never happens? Deciding to take kayfabe out back to the woodshed and shoot it, the Kliq's infamous curtain call incident broke the fabricated reality of wrestling for an entire generation of fans. It also indirectly launched the career of Steve Austin. The curtain call led to Triple H being pulled as the 1996 King of the Ring and replaced with Austin. If the incident didn't happen, an HBK Triple H feud would have headlined much of 1996. Austin would never get the attention he deserved, and Austin 316 never comes to pass. Thanks, Kliq. What if Stone Cold calls an audible? For as hilarious as he was during his 2001 heel turn, it is hard to make the argument that it was the right call. Not many wanted to see Austin and McMahon together, and Austin knew it too. He said on his podcast that he was tempted to call an audible at the climax of WrestleMania 17 and stun McMahon on the spot. If he did that, Austin's momentum would have carried on all the way till 2002, where he would face Hulk Hogan in the Icon vs. Icon duel. What if Hulk Hogan vs Bret Hart, SummerSlam 1993? Here it is, the origin of Bret Hart's hilarious hatred of Hulk Hogan. In 1993, Bret Hart was entering into his prime while Hogan was long past his. Logic would dictate that the elder wrestler would face the rising star at a big pay-per-view and put him over, giving him back the title he stole at WrestleMania 9. But Hulk Hogan doesn't sell logic, brother. If the match did go down, Hart would have surely won the match. The classic match would be a true passing of the torch moment, and the rub from Hogan would further have cemented Hart as the definitive face of his generation. What if Triple H doesn't tear his quad in 2001? While the Invasion storyline sucked for so many reasons, one of the major ones was that WWE was missing its hottest heel when the storyline kicked off, Triple H. He missed the whole story because of a quadricep tear. But what if he was healthy? With Stephanie McMahon still owning ECW, Trips would betray the WWE at Invasion 2001 rather than Stone Cold. The game would also be the one to turn on the Alliance at Survivor Series, making him an enemy to every wrestler on the roster. The story still isn't great, but it definitely makes more sense. What if Eddie Guerrero never dies? One of the darkest days in wrestling occurred on November 13, 2005, when Eddie Guerrero was found dead in a Minnesota hotel room. If Guerrero lived past that day, the world might have been saved from much heartbreak. On the wrestling front, Guerrero would have faced Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 22 and given us an all-time classic. More importantly though, the mental wound inflicted on Chris Benoit would never have happened, and perhaps the Benoit family is saved from Chris's rampage. According to some sources, Benoit's whole psyche changed from the day Guerrero died. We can always wonder. What if Brock Lesnar stays in 2004? Unfortunately for fans of his tremendous work in the early 2000s, Brock Lesnar left WWE in 2004 to begin a career in the NFL. If only Lesnar didn't hate the constant travel, the Beast likely would have been at the top of the WWE for years and years. In this timeline, a criminally underused John Cena is left to wallow in the mid-card with only brief flirts with the main event. Yeah, Lesnar is Cena and Cena is Dolph Ziggler. What a bizarre world. What if Shawn Michaels never injures his back? Rarely does an injury actually prove to save a wrestler's life. In the case of Shawn Michaels though, that is most likely the case. As we know, HBK in the late 90s was a drugged-out drama queen, and the rigorous WWE schedule didn't help at all. If HBK never took that bump onto the casket at Royal Rumble 1998, he would have never become a born-again Christian, never married his current wife, and likely would have died from a drug overdose. Luckily, wrestling's Grim Reaper couldn't catch the showstopper. What if Vince McMahon went to jail? So Vince McMahon has committed countless crimes on WWE television, but did you know the real man almost served hard time? A trial in 1994 saw McMahon in court for allegedly dealing steroids to his wrestlers, although he was cleared of all charges. With the company's reputation in tatters and their overly gimmicky programming failing, WCW lands the death blow in 1997, putting the WWE into the ground. What if the Montreal Screwjob never happens? The most controversial moment in WWE history, the Montreal Screwjob had so many consequences that it's hard to believe it actually happened. So let's now remove it from our world and see how reality reforms. In this timeline, the main event of Survivor Series ends in the planned double DQ finish. Bret Hart vacates the world title only for HBK to snatch it up in a tournament. Austin then defeats Michaels at WrestleMania 14, however, since the Mr. McMahon character was never born, Austin has no hot feud and the WWE dies shortly after. That's it for our list. What are some changes to history that you've always wondered about? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to TheSportster for more entertaining videos. See ya!